Looks nice.
My ears are blocking. There's no point to come here at night.
No?
No, because the light reflects on the glass and you can't see anything.
Right.
We came here at night once and you couldn't see anything.
I'm in Riga, the capital of Latvia. Actually in the center of Riga, between the tallest hotel called Radisson. Yes, it's the tallest hotel, not the tallest building in Riga. And the biggest or the main Orthodox church, I think, in Latvia. Or maybe just in Riga, I don't know. It's right behind me, you can see it. Okay? I came to Riga not for fishing, not this time. I come for because of a few different reasons. And part of my trip was, it was planned in advance, visit to KGB museum. There is KGB museum right in Riga, not far from here. My wife's friends went there a while ago, and they were from Ireland. People from Ireland, and they were very impressed. They liked it. Okay, so I decided to go as well. I've been there already 1 hour tour, English-speaking tour, and it was very interesting, unusual, and educational, informative. I took some nice photos, but I didn't want to film to interfere with all this. So I'm going to film now without guide. I remember what he said. It's going to be short, not 1 hour long like I had for myself. So if you're interested to see all that place properly and listen, hear all that information, there will be a link to the website, the museum's website, in the description below. So book your own tour if you're in Riga, or come to Riga. It's a really nice place, really nice food, cheap, and lots of beer, nice people, and visit that museum as well. So let's go to that place now. This is actually the place. It's not it's located on a very busy street in the center of Riga, practically in the city center, with lots of noise. And it's not a museum that was created as a museum. It's ex-KGB center that was converted into a museum. You can see bars on windows. That's not actual entrance. We'll go to it now, okay? There are more windows, and you can see bars everywhere, bars. So many people years ago were brought by ex-regime to this place, and not all of them left it alive. Many people died right in it, many people were sent to different centers, to Siberia, and many people were shot in different centers as well. But many people were shot right in this building. That's a door through which many people came inside and never left alive. The museum was not changed or restored significantly. Maybe some small things like light, maybe something else, but everything is original. People were grabbing this handle, entering. You can see these locks inside. And going this way, and we'll go this way as well. So I'm inside, and this is the entrance, is kind of the reception, and I was wrong. This entrance is not the main entrance. Visitors who were coming for people who were in this, actually I said this center is not center, it was not center, it was headquarters. Visitors or family members were coming through this door, and people who were kind of prisoned were coming through that door, big door I showed you before, and we'll come to that door through the corridor. Okay, so now it was converted, this place, into a reception for tourists. And then we keep going. This is Felix Edmundovich Dzerzhinsky, founder of KGB. Okay, And we keep going to the first place. This is the door where people who were under investigation and who were supposed to be imprisoned were coming through this door. And this is kind of reception with two huge massive mirrors. The original, as I said, the same as the building. Nothing was restored, maybe except from, you see, fire extinguisher and light, maybe some modern signs for, but the architecture, walls are original. Even doors, look at this, locks and handles. Okay, this is the lift in this building. Most of the places are quite dark. I don't know how much this camera will see. In completely dark places, I'm going to use my light from my phone. Okay, you can see it's pretty much scary and depressive. All this, but yes, as I said, it remains untouched, but it was designed also to be depressive and even more than depressive, to put pressure on people so they will do and say what KGB wanted. This is the main corridor where people were entering. You can see it as it was when those people were coming here. Okay, they were not walking themselves. And this is our registration room. You see, all files were kept here. They were taking pictures when they had possibility. All information was kept here. And you can see this old equipment, original, everything's original. As I said, it looks pretty much scary. But it had to be scary. Alright, that was added later, because this headquarters was closed in 1991 eventually. Right? And then you can see this is a door to one of cells. And this is interrogation room where people were questioned. This is the see-through mirror through which a different person was observing, questioning. And as I was told, KGB used different methods to put force and pressure on people to make them say and do what they want, like hitting with these sticks and sticking nails and just kicking them, punching them. Nothing too hard, like they were not killing them here, but still, you know, if person is not prepared, it's not cage fighter, wrestler. If someone punches in face or hits with that thing, you most likely you will get really depressed and maybe going to say what they really want. And also, yeah, as I was told, often they were tricking people, saying, okay, we'll leave your family alone if you tell what we need and sign this paper or that paper. And people were agreeing just to save their relatives, but they were lying. There are more cells and doors. You can see how scary all this stuff. Look at this. Okay, you can see how scary this place is. Imagine staying here. This room called dog room or dog house, or I think dog room, with tiny cells where people were kept to avoid any communication between them. For example, one prisoner was passing in the corridor, another one had to pass to a different place along the same corridor. They never were passing beside each other. One person had to be locked here, and the second person could pass, then they were releasing this person and letting it go. But sometimes when they had no space, or at the beginning people were kept here, you just can sit here, nothing else. Stand and sit, that's it. That's all space, you see. It's maybe half of meter by 1 meter. People were kept here for a few days to put pressure on them. And they were monitored through these tiny windows. Right, you can see these massive locks, like people, chains, like people could break something and escape. Those were not prisoners, they were ordinary people that because of some reason didn't fall under into category, they fall into category of I don't know, of criminals, political criminals. Yeah. This looks crazy. This is one of big cells where same after all investigation, a group of prisoners, political prisoners, were kept for a while until they could get killed or they could send somewhere to Siberia or a different center or camp. And how many you think people could fit in this room? You can see 4 benches, wooden benches, up to 20. They were sleeping on the floor. Light was always on and they had to sleep face up and never cover their face. And this bucket was used as a toilet, not this exactly, but bucket like this was used as a toilet for everything and was emptied once in the day only. Imagine the smell, what the smell was in this room. And they were watched through this glass and this glass, the small window. Sometimes prisoners had a chance to breathe fresh air. So they were brought through this door to a tiny yard, which is covered also with bars and mesh, metal mesh. I don't think those people would even ever try to escape, but okay, that's how they were treated. That's the size of, I don't know if you can see anything. I'm going to turn light on again. That's the size of the yard, and it's actually, I don't know, maybe 8 by 5 meter size. So sometimes they could breathe fresh air for 10-20 minutes, but not regularly. Let's go to see something else. Here is another section, part of this place, with more cells where German prisoners after Second World War were waiting for sentences. They were hung, as you see, many of them. And there's a story, interesting story, how one prisoner, instead of him, he was in hospital, and a different guy was hung instead of him by mistake, something like that. But most likely, and political prisoners, not Germans, were kept here as well. There are also very small cells, if you can see. It looks pretty scary. A horror movie could be shot here very easily. And I think, and I personally believe, that ghosts are definitely living in this place. Another cell, tiny. I don't know how many people were staying here. There is another interesting thing. It's called a tricky door or fake door. A door that should confuse people if they try to escape, to run away. But actually that door was not going to the freedom, but it was going to a wrong place. Where they could get caught. okay? But as I was told, in all those years, nobody even ever tried to escape, because those were not real prisoners, but normal people who got jailed because of some political fake reasons. We're going now to the basement with execution room, with kitchen. You can see the stairs, how many people, hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people. All these years step on these steps, and they eventually go missing. A little bit lost. I'm trying to find kitchen. Yeah, this is the kitchen. It has no light at this moment because museum has not much money to refurbish everything, to organize everything properly. So they have a link in the website. If you would like to donate any amount of money, please do it, because this should survive, this place should survive, should develop. It's a great history and great memory. People should know about places like this. More people, not just locals, but foreigners as well, about ex-Soviet history. So this is the kitchen where different type of prisoners, some sort of grannies who done some small crimes, were cooking food for political prisoners, and food was very, very poor. At the beginning, most of people were refusing to eat that food, but later they had no different option and they had to eat. And often all these pots and pans were not properly washed, and they used scraps from old food to add to new food, and people were getting sick and this and that, but hunger was pushing them to eat everything. Yeah, all this stuff is original. It's not museum stuff, it's real. So you can see what hundreds of people saw years ago with their eyes before they die. Here is another interesting room, which is part of the building, a medical examination room. I don't know what they brought here when they were getting sick, or just checks, general checks before and after, I am not sure. And this is the original meter to check height of people, up to 200 meters. So I can stand here and measure myself. That's how they were standing here. I'm trying to imagine. We definitely ghostly here. A different set of cells in basement. We're still in basement. Okay, there are small cells that were used to keep prisoners up to until Stalin, one Russian famous dictator, died. After that, as I was told, these cells were used as storage rooms. So before that, people were staying here, and not just two people. You can see two benches, but as I was told, there could be up to 20 people kept in this tiny room. I'm using wide angle lens. It looks bigger, but it's actually literally tiny. It's maybe 2.5 by 2.5 meters and maybe 220 meters high. Okay. Similar to those cells that we had chance to see on the ground floor, but they're just small. No, they were also small. This is single, but I'm pretty sure there were few people living here. Imagine being locked in this room. No, people, please obey the law. Don't go to jail. Even jail is much better now. You can see these old ancient locks. Chains again. Another interesting room. This room. Here were kept files of all betrayers who agreed to collaborate with KGB. They were moved at some stage, some files were moved to Russia, most of files, but some got into hands of local authorities. So they were published, as I was told, at some stage somewhere, but it was misinterpreting, because they could be fake as well. You know, KGB is smart. They could fake files on someone who could be innocent to make that person be bad in local governor's eyes. And this is actually the last KGB governor general, whatever, Latvian, I don't remember his name, on when KGB was closing its activity. I think it was press conference. And this is interesting thing, it's spying, very old ancient spying device that was, they could hear, listen, spy on people through their voices, pick up voice. I don't know, yeah, you can see, it's original actually. A very final door that we're going to open, and this door actually was very final for many people, because we're going to an execution room. Oops. As you can see, this door doesn't want to open itself. And there's some special locks and everything. I don't know if camera would be able to film anything. That's a sky. That's a building, block of building from inside. It looks actually nice, but I don't know, because of all those memories and pressure from those memories and all those taken away lives, yeah, it doesn't look great. So there is another huge massive door. You can see a car could pass inside actually, and cars were passing from the street. There is, I can't really show, it's too dark. There is a big gate, cars were getting inside and bringing and taking prisoners and dead bodies after the execution. And now we're going to last room, as I said, an execution room. I was told that this room was half size. It was extended for exhibition. This is the new size site. Was added, just a second. This new site part was added later for exhibition, and this is original half of the execution room. 178, as I remember, people, officially 178 were killed here. And how many not officially, I don't know. And all those dots you see, yellow and red, are covering holes from bullets. So all this is original, authentic, how to say. And you see the drain after killing, shooting people in the head. They were dragging body outside, loading to a truck and carrying through that big gate, and blood was washed through that drain, ready for new execution. So that's it. There are more floors, but they are closed, unfortunately, because this place, the museum, can't sustain. It's not governing organization. It's not receiving any, maybe a little bit, I don't know, I'm not sure, but not much of support from the government. They're sustaining on own income that they generate from this place, actually, which, as I said, must live and develop and keep this information, preserve this information for future generations and spread it and share it. So please come and see it share and invite your friends, your family, I don't know, and donate. As I said, you see, I'm not involved in this business, whatever, but I feel that this place needs help of people. They have, as I know, they have button donation, button website. Yeah, if you can, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 euro, please